Hello everyone, this is Ronnie from UK Fruitfest. I would like to answer this question about how do you go raw, how do you stay raw in the winter as a raw vegan? And the basic answer is that you don't really do anything different. That's basically it. The raw vegan diet you eat most of the year is very similar to the diet that you eat throughout the winter. That's basically it. Now, I've got this thing on. I've got a hat on. I keep myself a little warmer. I have to put on the heating. It's not quite turned on yet, so I'm a little cooler than usual. But let's go into a bit more detail about that for those that want a bit more information. So when I started a raw vegan diet, which was about 2011, I think it's very natural for everyone to believe that one of the big challenges is how do you stay raw during the winter? And I don't. I think that's all in your mind that there's any difference really, or that it makes a big difference. And it is a big deal that comes up, and it's something that people will say to you like, "Oh, I stay raw the rest of the year, but in winter I can't stay raw." Like, no one's doing that, to be honest, right? It's maybe something that people want to say, but no one wants to admit that they're not in control when it comes to what they eat. And they like this idea that, well, yeah, when it's the winter, but when it's the summer, I'm like right back to it. Like, it's not true. It's not true. And a lot of people think, if I lived in the tropics, I would be raw. It's not true. And if I lived in the perfect scenario, I'd be raw. It's not true. And if I could, and even people that come to the fruit festivals, oh, if I was in that situation, I'll be raw. And it's the easiest place, but it's not always true either, because people will still leave. In fact, it definitely in Woodstock, there's a whole group of people that would come every year that had no intention of staying raw, that are leaving almost every day or bringing other food with them. And they like to sap the energy from raw vegans. They like to come in and vampire some of our energy and be part of the thing and feel that, but they don't want to contribute to it. So they just want to vampire off it and then go away and eat pizza and all that each day. And I don't know. I mean, that's quite good as well. If you know, it helps the festival if people come that want to eat other things. But the the spirit of it, the heart of it, the energy of it comes from people eating a raw vegan diet for a week. Like that's kind of what it's set up to help people accomplish, I suppose, and see if it actually makes a difference in how we are as people and how we act together as people. So that's what we kind of like. But uh, the raw vegan diet and lifestyle is a very simple thing. And the truth is that people say, you know, when it gets cold, I crave hot food. That's not really true. If you were really honest with yourself, if you really thought about it, because my simple answer to you would be, well, why not warm up your banana smoothie? Why not warm up your orange juice? When I was younger, I used to come in from the cold, sometimes after school or whatever, and my mum would use like the diluting, what we call diluting juice. So like the concentrate that you buy in shops. And, you know, usually you fill it with mostly water. But she would fill it with warm water. Like she would boil water and then so you'd have like a warm drink. So you could do that if you like. You could have a warm smoothie where the water is warm, and you might think, well, that defeats the point of raw diet. But you're not really making a big difference there. It's not a big problem. I never do that, but I might just thinking about it. I might experiment with it, see what it's like to have a warm smoothie made with warm water. It'd be interesting. So I said to myself early on, is it the warmth that I'm missing? Is it the warm food that I'm missing? Is it warmth? Is it heat? And you just simply ask yourself, well, if I was just to warm up bananas or other fruits, is that it? Is that what you need? Because you could do that. And you may think, well, as you say, maybe it's not 100% raw, but it's not a big deal. It's not too much of a difference. So people will say that, I want the warmth, but they don't really want hot. It's not really what they're missing. What they'll often say is it's the comfort of cooked food. And the comfort of cooked food is not entirely about the warmth of it. That's an aspect of it. That's an aspect of it. But it's not the whole thing. And the real comforting thing is the addiction. It's the fact that you've got an addiction to it that is being satisfied by whatever is in those foods that we become addicted to. And when we satisfy our addiction, we feel temporarily a sense of, of comfort. It reduces it because there's a sense of stress that comes up when we're not feeding our addiction, and we want to like dampen that down, and so we go back to our addiction. So I noticed that it wasn't really the heat of the food that I was looking for, because when I said to myself, would I be happy to have like leftover pasta or leftover, I don't know, sandwiches or something from the night before, or a leftover pizza? And I had to say to myself, actually, yeah, I wouldn't mind having that. It wasn't really the warmth. It wasn't really the heat. People during the winter still eat room temperature food, cold food even. Sandwiches. Does anyone stop eating sandwiches? People eat sandwiches throughout the year. So sandwiches are a cold food generally. People obviously have drinks, all sorts of drinks, cold beer. Less so. People eat ice cream and things like that, but still do to some extent. And salads and all the snack foods. All of the snack foods that are, crisps and things like that, none of these are heated up. Chocolate bars, sweets, none of this stuff's heated up. And people eat it throughout the winter. For breakfast, people often have cereal. That's not heated. So, are people really changing their diet that much in the winter? And then the other question is, in the summer, do people in general stop eating hot food? Is there the inverse effect? There isn't. And I've been in Mexico, I've been in Thailand, I've been in tropical countries, and you go to the markets and the food markets and stuff, and they're boiling food in oil. They're eating hot food, cooked hot food, in boiling weather. And it's beautiful weather in a park in the summer somewhere in this city, and it's beautiful sun and it's hot and everyone's got the tops off and everything. Barbecues, they're like the hottest way of eating food. Barbecues, people are getting food delivered to them, pizzas. They're not eating fruit and salad all of a sudden because it's hot. So it's not that big a deal. You don't get your body heat from the heat of the food you eat anyway. So it's not really changing your core temperature. So it's not really anything to do with that. So it's all really in people's minds, and it's all about comfort, the sense of comfort that comes with it. So, the truth is, what will my diet be like at the moment? Very similar. Like if I go to the shop, the things that I eat the most of are still there. Pineapples. Actually, I don't eat a lot of pineapples. I just, for some reason, that came up. But pineapples are there. Grapes. I eat a lot of grapes. Grapes are still in the shop. In fact, there's going to be some probably really good varieties of grapes coming. People tell me I can't find ripe fruit, sweet fruit in the UK. Like, there's always grapes. They're one of the most reliable. You can eat them right now, any moment. Grapes. They're always there. They're always ripe. Pretty high in calories. There's almost always citrus. Citrus is another thing that I have, but a lot of citrus is particularly high calorie. Actually, I've learned a bit more. But sometimes I'll have orange juice. I don't like having kind of juice made like already in a bottle or whatever. Occasionally I might do that. Bananas are there all the time. Apples of varying quality. I don't know if the apples are so good at this time of year, but um, various types of berries, and then you get persimmons in the winter, which are another really good fruit, and melons and things like that. So all of these things are really still there. The same still things that I see most of the year, and all your salad stuff, all your tomatoes, peppers, um, all the lettuces, greens, avocados. It's all there. Like it's all the same stuff. There's nothing really that changes, and I think that what people want with this diet is that I go somewhere that everyone else doesn't know about and get some kind of special fruit. I don't live on special fruit. I don't live on tropical fruits or imported fruits or anything like that. I don't even know, even if it was affordable, I'm not sure if I would. If I was to go to the local thing and there was like durian and jackfruit and cherimoyas and soursop and rollinia and all these things all the time, I don't know. I don't know if I would eat those things all the time, to be honest. I might go back to eating grapes and bananas and stuff and have those once in a while. Like I don't know. Um, you don't really need special. And anyway, the whole core of this diet is really about being a foundation for your health and your life. It's not about developing a fetish for certain foods or some kind of like need for having a certain class of foods or whatever. And I don't believe it. Like people go to other countries and they have fruit and they're like, "This is way better." It never is. Everyone's no one's honest about these things for some reason. The fruit in other countries is not significantly different. I always think the UK is one of the best places for fruit and vegetables, and generally, um, if you want like astonishing quality of fruit and all that, you'd probably need to go to someone who's growing it for themselves. Like you need to go to some special farm, a person, their own personal stash or whatever. You go to people think they go to a tropical countries, all this local fruit coming from a local it doesn't work like that. Or local farmers with their local stand. No, it doesn't really happen like that, mostly. So it's not about the weather, it's not about the heat. The Christmas dinner is a difficult time for people because when they get together with their family. So that's a difficult time. Are you going to go there and eat differently than you do the rest of the year? It's very hard, the first time you're a raw vegan, if you don't have people supporting you with that, it's kind of difficult. So you probably want to bring your own food. It's a difficult conversation to have. It's a bit stressful for people. And then eventually people learn that's what you're doing and they get used to it. And that's basically it. But yeah, I've been invited to a few Christmas dinner things this year and different things I'm part of. I'm not signed up to go for them. I don't really want to. I don't really want to. I don't really like eating certain things with people all the time. I'm not really a big fan of it anymore. I might turn up late. I might turn up later, but I don't know. I'd like to go. I just don't want to have the conversation about the food and all that. I don't want to. I don't. I don't. Yeah. So maybe I'm missing out. I'm missing out. It's a shame, but you make your decisions. So, but the trick is to not really think of it as any different. Human beings eat mostly indoors, even in hot countries. It's not good to be outside and trying to eat when there's all these things flying around and bugs and everything. So people mostly eat indoors. It's comfortable. It's easy. You can set the temperature precisely to what you want. And it's no different in the cold countries. People eat indoors. So it's all mostly in people's minds that it's more difficult. It's not more difficult. It's the same thing. It's a thing that people use as an excuse. Well, it's hot outside, so I can go and cold outside, so I can go and eat something else. It's an excuse. It's not real. So that's my piece on that, and That's what I want to say. And UK Fruitfest is happening very soon. Not happening very soon. It's happening in July, but we're going to sell out very soon. So figure out. I'll put a link below. Join the announcement list. Um, we don't have a lot of tickets left. We should be able to get rid of them in December, January, something like that. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. But that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to try and. I don't want to spend a whole year trying to sell tickets for UK Fruitfest, so I'm gonna try and do what I do over 6 months in 1 month, or like in a lot less period of time. So anyway, I wanted to say that about the winter. That's pretty much it. Any questions you have about it, feel free to put your stuff below, your questions or whatever. I do coaching. I do help people with this stuff. And some people do say that I am quite a grounding influence. And a lot of people don't like that because they want the magic, the mysticism, the herbs, the enemas. They want to put things up their bum. I don't encourage you to put things up your bum. I don't encourage you to put anything up your bum. Really, in any situation. You know, if you want, I mean, that's for many people, that's what they want to do. But like, it's probably like as a health thing in terms of long term, your health or the condition of your body, it's probably not a great thing to do in general. And definitely, if it's, if you're trying to do it as a health practice, then it's probably definitely not a necessary thing to do, and probably not a good thing to do. Don't see any reason to do it. It's probably not that dangerous to do if you're talking about those things rather than other things. But it can be dangerous. It can damage people. There's a potential of that. And I'd rather potential to be zero than even 1% or 0.1%. I want a 0%, and I've got I don't have a desire to go like investigating up my back passage. I've got no desire to figure out what's happening. Not happening there. I'm going to deal with this, so I don't have to deal with that. That's basically the way my philosophy. Deal with this and this, so that you don't have to deal with the rest of it. Your digestion is like totally related to what's going in. So if you deal with this part, I watched this snooker player, and they were talking about like a complex shot where you're hitting off different things and hitting different balls, and he said, is that difficult? And he said, well, I just have to focus on the first thing I'm aiming at. The rest of it will take care of itself. If he hits the right point on the table or the corner or the ball at the right angle, the rest of it will happen. So he just needs to focus on that. So there's all this complicated stuff that's going to happen after that, but he just needs to get the ball in the right place, which means he just needs to hit the ball in the right place. That's all he needs to focus on. And it's a great philosophy, actually, for a lot of things. And with their diet, really, if we just figure out what we're eating, we don't need to think about all the other stuff so much. That's what I like about it. It's a really powerful, simplistic approach to things. So winter, not a big deal, not a big difference. Maybe if you want me to, maybe I can put a book out about it that just says just do the same thing, 1 page. I'm sure that people would buy a big program, $100, $200, whatever, £200. How to be raw in the winter, 20 videos, 35 recipes, interviews with 10 people, like a program, additional coaching, group coaching. Like, I'm sure people would want that, but it's really, the message is kind of the same thing. Advice on social interactions, how to do this, how to do that. So enjoy it, have fun, enjoy yourself, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.